able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you. It's got about 18 million cracks in it. And the light is shining through like never before, filling us all with the hope and the sure knowledge that the path will be a little easier next time.
Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and as a molten looking glass?
For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
steroids, Santa Claus kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open. Groundskeepers are trying to put on the tarp, but it turned into a manta ray and stung them all. Now we'll be right back after this word from oxygen, which Homer desperately needs to live.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Is that the Earth is a closed system. Is that the Earth is a closed system.
What was it that Admiral Byrd found on the South Pole? Incredibly enough, in an official American Navy documentary film, we found footage of what Admiral Byrd found on the South Pole. He found giant freshwater, never freezing lakes with areas around them that were free of any snow. And in that film, we show footage of the Navy planes landing in these lakes. But even more so, he found, to his amazement, that his planes were disappearing very quickly. A lot of his planes were attacked by anti-gravity devices that were operated by the Germans there, by anti-gravity saucers. A lot of them crashed into invisible barriers and disintegrated in mid-flight. This is an indication that the Germans had already perfected the force field shields, and they were up and operational around the German colony at Neuschwabenland. When he was retreating, basically the whole operation lasted for 1 week. They started at the end of February 47, and by the first week of March, they were through with the whole operation, and much earlier than scheduled, and they departed. And in an interview at Buenos Aires on his way back, Admiral Byrd made the incredible statement that the Third World War would probably be with an adversary coming from the polar regions of our planet, an adversary that has the ability to fly unobstructed from pole to pole. He was referring to the Germans at their South Polar colony at Neuschwabenland that were operating their anti-gravity craft with impunity and could fly circles around the globe, and of course would shoot out of the sky any of the attacking American planes.
Hey people, my name is Dana. This is my very first YouTube video ever. I've got something here that I've been doing a lot of research on the flat earth and the firmament, things like that. This is a set of encyclopedias I have. They're Encyclopedia Americana. This is volume 2. It's the A's. What we're going to do is look at what it says about Antarctica. These, just remember, this is a 1958 edition. Okay, this was before the Antarctic Treaty was signed. This was before the supposed Apollo missions. I want to show you something that it says in here about Antarctica. It basically talks about all the exploration. It says here, Antarctic regions, all the exploration. Has a few photos, not too many. This is the map created back then. I've read all of this. This is the part here that I have the question about. Let's see. Okay, I hope you can see this. They did flights, and it says, these flights prove the inland areas to be featureless in character, with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. There seems to be only one definition for the word dome. Anyway, if anybody has any idea what this means, can explain this to me, I would appreciate it. Okay, thanks.
Well, since I don't know what to trust anymore, I've gone back to this a lot, especially recently. I was born into a Catholic family, and this is actually my mother's Bible, but I keep going back to this that I a year and a half ago made fun of to my roommate, and then had to put my foot in my mouth because I don't know, this could actually be a depiction of our Earth or something similar to it. But as you can see, there are waters above the firmament in this picture, and then it has firmament of the sky, which might allude to some type of liquid up here, maybe. But of course this is an illustration. So I'm using this as my basis for now, because I've been pulled back to Christianity in so many different ways in the past few months.
Today's increasing international emphasis on long-range ballistic missile activity raises to priority attention the mastering of high-altitude burst effects phenomenology. At stake are urgent problems, such as those associated with ICBM defense, as well as the upper air burst effects on radio communications and radar. On hardtack, 3 high-altitude shots were fired to acquire data necessary to develop a national capability for high-altitude warfare. Yucca, a 1.7 kiloton device suspended from a balloon, and Teak and Orange, both 3.8 megaton devices carried by Redstone missiles. All were fired to obtain effects data for the fulfillment of 3 general objectives. First, to find out how extreme altitudes affect the partition of energy in a nuclear detonation, and what is the radial extent of the various phenomena. Second, to determine scaling laws for various effects as a function of altitude and yield. Third, to determine the effects of high-altitude bursts on the ionosphere and on the propagation of radio and radar signals. A brief recapitulation of the findings in line with the general objectives sought from Teak, Orange, and Yucca shows first that high-altitude nuclear detonations are characterized by the rapid development of energy phenomena.